My friend texted me last Tuesday around 11 p.m. and it just said these 3 words. I'm so tired. Now, mind you, I didn't respond till the next day because Abby likes to go to bed at 7 p.m. I'm like an old lady. What can I say? But when I responded back to her, she told me this. She says, Abby, I'm not just physically tired. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of performing. I'm tired of living a life that looks good on the outside, but feels hollow on the inside. Now, let me share with you, this friend of mine, she's got an amazing house. She's got a handsome husband, great relationship. She's got a business that's doing so well, but she's absolutely miserable because none of it is what she actually wants. It's what she thought she was supposed to want. So this is what I told her. I said, you've been waiting for permission to want what you want. And the reason you're stuck is because you're waiting for someone to give you that permission who never will. Your parents won't give it to you because they want you safe. Your partner won't give it to you because change can be scary and kind of risky too. And most of your friends won't give it to you because your transformation makes them question their own choices. So you're just waiting. And while you're waiting, your actual life is passing by. Welcome back to Straight Talk with Abby, the audio series where I talk about the stuff you're thinking, but nobody else is saying out loud. And today I'm zoning in on how you can get out of your own way and start living the life you want. Let's get into it. A while back ago, I invested over 3 years of my life building something I thought I wanted because when I mentioned it, everyone around me was so excited about it. So I started to build it. 3 years. And you want to know the moment I realized I'd made a mistake? I was celebrating a milestone that should have felt amazing. And all I felt was dread about having to keep doing it. That's when I understood that success in the wrong direction is just a really, really expensive detour. Which reminds me of a lady I met a while back ago at a networking event. Her name was Sarah. She went to law school because her dad was a lawyer, her grandfather was a lawyer. And when you grow up in that family, well, you become a lawyer. And she graduated top of her class, landed at a prestigious firm, and had the office, the title, the salary, the whole shebang bang. And at her 10-year reunion, she shared with me that someone asked her what she did for fun. And she just froze. She couldn't answer because she didn't do anything for fun. She didn't have any hobbies. She barely had friends outside of work. And she had spent a decade becoming someone her family could be proud of, but forgotten to become someone she could recognize. Last I heard, she quit law entirely and runs a pottery studio now. But I follow her on social media and she looks more alive for the first time in years. And I'm not saying you need to blow up your life like that, but I am saying this. You cannot build a life worth living on someone else's blueprint. At some point, you have to decide what you want, even if, especially if it disappoints people. So let's talk about what that actually looks like, because I'm not interested in giving you vague inspiration that makes you feel good for 10 minutes and then changes nothing. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to do something simple. Grab your phone or a notebook and set a timer for 5 minutes, just 5, and write down everything you're doing in your life right now that you're only doing because you think you should. Not because you want to, because you should. Maybe it's a friendship that's run its course, but you feel guilty ending it. Maybe it's posting on social media when you actually hate it. Maybe it's saying yes to every request that comes your way. Maybe it's a business direction that looks smart, but makes you want to scream. Don't edit yourself. Don't judge it. Just get it out of your head for 5 minutes. Now, here's the part that matters. Pick one thing from that list, just one thing, and ask yourself, if nobody else's opinion mattered at all, what would I do about this? And be honest about it and be specific, not I'd be happier. That's pretty useless. I mean, this. I would stop answering my phone when this specific person calls, or I would restructure my business to focus on what I'm actually good at. Or I would tell my family I'm not coming to every single gathering. Write down what you'd actually do if you had the courage. And then this is the part that actually changes anything. You're going to take the smallest possible action toward that thing this week. Not the whole thing, not the big scary conversation, but the tiniest first step. If it's ending a draining friendship, the tiny action isn't the breakup conversation. It's maybe just not responding to their text immediately. Let it sit for 24 hours before you auto-respond with fake enthusiasm. If it's changing your business direction, it's blocking out 2 hours on your calendar this week to think. That's it, just the calendar block. And if it's setting a boundary with family, it's rehearsing what you'd say in the shower out loud so you can hear yourself say the words. The action should be so small, you just can't talk yourself out of it, because the goal isn't to fix everything this week. It's just to prove to yourself that you're capable of choosing yourself, even in the smallest way. And here's one more thing that'll actually make this stick. You got to tell one person what you're doing, not for validation, but for accountability. Text a very trustworthy friend and say, hey, I'm working on something. This week, I'm going to do XYZ. Can you check with me on Friday and ask if I did it? That's it. Because when you keep your growth private, we both know it's way too easy to let yourself off the hook. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I am going to throw a guess out there. Maybe the reason you haven't made the changes that you know you need to make isn't because you don't have enough information or you're not ready or the timing isn't right. It's because you're more afraid of disappointing other people than you are of disappointing yourself. Let me repeat that. It's because you're more afraid of disappointing other people more than you are of disappointing yourself. You'll sacrifice your own dreams, your own peace, your own authenticity to avoid the discomfort of someone being upset with you. And I get it, because I used to do that all the time. I think we all have. But at some point, you do have to ask yourself, how long are you willing to betray yourself to keep other people comfortable? Your mom will get over it. Your partner will adjust, or they won't, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. Your industry peers will judge you and then forget about it because they're too busy worrying about their own stuff. But you have to live with you every single day. You have to wake up in your life. You have to go to sleep knowing whether you're living for yourself or for everyone else's expectations. There's this Shakespeare quote that's been stuck in my head lately, and it's this one: to thine own self be true. Everyone quotes it, but nobody actually does it because being true to yourself is uncomfortable as hell sometimes. It means disappointing people. It means being misunderstood. It means choosing the harder path sometimes because it's your path. And that's okay. Because the alternative is spending your life wondering what would have happened if you'd had the courage to actually be yourself. And you want to hear something really crazy? It's this. We will spend more time researching what phone to buy than we do asking ourselves what we actually want out of life. We'll read 17 reviews, compare specs, watch YouTube videos. But when it comes to the direction of our entire existence, we just wing it. We follow the path of least resistance and just hope and pray that it all works out. I had coffee with someone last month who told me she felt stuck. She's in her 40s, financially comfortable, family's healthy, objectively living a pretty gosh darn good life. And she said, you know, Abby, I have everything I'm supposed to want. So why do I feel like I'm dying inside? And I asked her this: When's the last time you did something just because you wanted to? Not because it made sense or because someone needed you to or because it looked good? And she couldn't answer me. And that's the thing about living on autopilot. You can build an entire life that looks so successful from every angle, but still wake up one day feeling like a stranger in your own body. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped asking yourself what you wanted and started defaulting to what everyone else expected. So here's what I've learned from watching people transform their lives, and honestly, after transforming my own. The shift happens the moment you decide that your opinion of yourself matters more than everyone else's opinion of you. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It's in a, I'm going to stop abandoning myself to make other people comfortable way. Because that's what we do, right? We abandon ourselves constantly. We say yes when we mean no. We stay quiet when we should speak up. And we keep doing things that drain us because we're afraid of the conversation we'd have to have if we stopped. And every time you abandon yourself like that, you're sending yourself this message. Everyone else's needs matter more than mine. Everyone else's comfort is more important than my own authenticity. Everyone else's approval is worth more than my peace. Now, you know you would not treat someone you love like that. So why on earth are you treating yourself that way? So I'm going to tell you something that might change your life if you let it sink in. You are not responsible at all for managing other people's disappointment in your choices. Say it out loud if you need to. Your mom's disappointment, that's hers to process, not yours to prevent. Your friend's judgment, that's about their own insecurity, not your worth. And your partner's resistance to change, that's their work to do, not your prison to live in. You can be kind, you can be thoughtful, you can communicate with love, but you cannot sacrifice your entire life to avoid uncomfortable conversations or difficult feelings in other people. Because the truth is, people who love you for real will adjust. They might struggle with it at first, they might not understand, but they'll adjust because they want you to be happy, not some version of you that makes their life easier. And the people who can't adjust, they were never really for you anyway. And you probably already knew that in your heart. You were just avoiding it. So those specific people were probably only put in your life for the version of you that served them. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also the most liberating thing you'll ever realize. So here's where the rubber meets the road. You've identified what you're doing out of obligation. You've started asking yourself what you actually want. You've maybe even taken the first small step. Now comes the part that separates people who change their lives from the people who just think about changing their lives. You have to keep going even when it gets uncomfortable, even when people push back, even when you doubt yourself at 3 a.m., even when it would be easier to just go back to the way things were. Because transformation isn't a one-time decision. It's 1,000 gazillion tiny decisions to keep choosing yourself when the old pattern would be easier. It's choosing honesty over people-pleasing. It's choosing your values, your wants, your desires over other people's expectations, and it's choosing the life that you actually want over the life that looks good in photos. And I need you to understand that you don't owe anyone your dreams. You don't owe anyone your potential. You don't owe anyone a smaller, quieter, more convenient version of you. The world has enough people living half lives, playing it safe, making themselves small. What the world needs is you, the real you, fully alive, fully expressed, fully committed to becoming who you actually are instead of who you think you should be. So let me leave you with this. 10 years from now, you're going to look back at this moment and you're going to either think that's when everything changed, or that's when I almost changed, but I let fear win. Which story do you want to tell? Because I promise you this, the discomfort of disappointing people is temporary. The regret of never trying is permanent. The judgment you're afraid of, people are going to judge you anyway. They'll judge you for changing and they'll judge you for staying the same. So you might as well do what makes you come alive. Your life is happening right now. Not when you have more money, not when the kids are older, not when you feel more ready. Right now. And every day you wait for permission, that's never coming anyway, is a day you're choosing everyone else over yourself. So here's my challenge to you. Take the action step we talked about earlier. Do it this week. Not perfectly, not after you figured everything out, not when it feels comfortable. Just do it. Do it even though your hands are shaking, your voice might crack, and you honestly have no idea how it's going to turn out. Do it because you deserve a life that feels like yours. Do it because the person you're capable of becoming is waiting on the other side of that fear. And do it because you're done waiting for permission. And then come tell me about it. Seriously, I want to hear what you did. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and tell me what changed when you finally chose yourself. This is your life. Stop auditioning for it and start living it. Thanks for listening to Straight Talk with Abby. If this episode hit you where you needed it, here's what I want you to do. First, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Transformation is contagious, and you never know who's waiting for exactly this message. Second, if you're ready to stop starting over and start becoming the unstoppable version of yourself, I've got something for you. My audiobook, Your Breakthrough Era, Unstoppable Starts Here, is now available on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon. It's the deeper dive into everything we talk about here. And if you're ready to go all in on your fitness transformation, check out my program, Unstoppable 2.0, my 12-week program that combines fitness, mindset, and identity work to help you become who you're meant to be. You can find all the details at yourfitnesscheck.com. Remember, your breakthrough era doesn't start when you feel ready. It starts when you decide you're ready. I'll see you next time for more Straight Talk. Until then, keep breaking through.